Um, my name is Kautuk Patil, and this is the review of Lab 9 for EE5533. Mm. So, in this lab, we developed our own ISA and we integrated our ALU and some branching functionalities to the basic pipeline that we had developed in Lab 8. So, as you can see, our instruction was a 32-bit instruction, and uh, here we show the split of the instruction and how different bits um, different bits are used for different functionalities. So here the bit 31 um, indicates if or whether we are writing to the memory. Bit 30 indicates if or whether we are writing to the register. Um, then bit 29 to 27 and 26 to 24 gives access to two registers from the register file in the ID stage. The bits 23 to 21 gives access to writing to the register file from the write back stage, and the bits 20 to 17 gives control of the ALU for the different functionalities like add, sub, XOR, etc. The bit 16 indicates whether we are loading from the memory. Bit 15 indicates whether it's a branch instruction, and bits 14 down to 6 indicate the address that we're branching to. So this kind of a split gives us the freedom to uh, implement uh, the below mentioned instructions. So we have load word, store word, add, subtract, and some other ALU based instructions. And we also have a branch equal to instruction, which is useful for branching scenarios. So to explain the working of some of the basic instructions over here, we set up a very simple a very simple assembly level code. So this is the code that we demonstrate to show the working of the basic instructions from our instruction set. So the first two load words load values from the DMEM from the 0th location to register R0 and R1. We then use an ALU operation to add to sum up these values and store them to register R2. And we then use branch equal to instruction to skip one of our store word operations and jump to the label. So here we see a simulated behavior of the assembly level code. So at this marker point, we are loading the value 4 from data memory 0 at this to register R0. And then at this point, we are loading the same value to register R1. And after executing the add instruction, we are storing 8 to R3. And then we skip storing 4 using the branch instruction and straight away go ahead and jump to the storing 8 and storing the value 8 to the memory. So if we look at the memory file, this is the point where we are storing 8 to the data memory. So after generating the bit file for that assembly code and our pipeline design, we load the bit file to the NetFPGA. And we then use our Perl script to set up the memories. Yeah, so as you can see here, the default 64 value is loaded to memory 4, And after we run the program, it should be changed to 8 as seen from the simulated waveforms. So now we give a command to run. So now our assembly code is running, and then we again use the Perl script to generate the data memories log, and we generate like a mem contents file. So this is the mem contents file that was generated. And if we observe, just a second. Yeah. So we the mem contents file that was generated, we open it and we observe that just like the simulated behavior at address 4, we have the value 8 stored there. So this confirms the working of our basic and small instruction set architecture. So now we'll go ahead and implement a more complex bubble sort algorithm. Resumed.
We can see like we have written an assembly language code for the sorting algorithm that was specified in the PDF. So basically this is the assembly language code for a basic bubble sort algorithm that we have written using the instruction set that we have generated, that which consisted of various instructions like compare, branch, equal, load word, add, etc. So this is basically a loop unroll fashion of bubble sort algorithm, as we aren't using any for loops in them. So it involves the loading of data from the memory into the registers. Then we compare the registers. Then on the basis of that, we swap the values to sort them. Uh, and Yeah, so basically we sort them and then we store them back in the memory locations. So now we can see from the waveforms as on the screen that we are doing the compare and swap operations, and the data from the memory is stored in the registers. And on the basis of the value of the registers, we are comparing and swapping them. And then while storing the data in the memory, we can see from the waveforms that you can see that the data we are working on is in the memory location 0, 1, and 2, which is 2, 3, and 1. And post all the sorting algorithm, we can see that the data is sorted uh, as seen on the screen. Yeah.